Two guys not related, yet somehow are given the same name. It's time for the Two Daves podcast, where we'll answer the age-old question, are two Daves better than one? And now, here's Dave and Dave.
And welcome to the Two Daves Nation, where two middle-aged guys welcome everybody to spend some much-needed getaway time with us and enjoy a laugh or two. And as always, we'd like for you to subscribe or share this podcast with your friends or enemies. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dave, and this ain't tacos. This is the Two Daves podcast. We are ready as much as we can to bring you the most okayest podcast in the land. What do you think of that, Dave?
We can do it. We have set the bar medium way.
That is for sure. Hey, a few podcasts ago, we were talking about when you were a kid and returned to your hometown. I think this was your autobiography. I'm not for sure, but you were talking about how they remembered you as a kid that didn't play sports but collected presidential buttons. And you remember that, right, when we talked about that?
Yeah, I remember something about that. Yep.
It made me think of collecting. So do you have any collections that you have right now or as a kid or whatever?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had several collections over the years. When I was a kid, probably my most enthusiastic collection was I collected Viewmasters. You remember what those were, the Viewmasters?
Yep. I collected them too.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I bought as many as I possibly could, and I had the reels, but I also had the talking Viewmasters, and I still have all those Viewmasters today. So that was kind of pretty cool. Also, I wasn't into G.I. Joe. I was into Big Jim. He was like the poor man from G.I. Joe. And I collected all that stuff. And yeah. And then as I got older, like in high school, I started collecting erasers. Well, you could buy those like there was this unique kind of erasers. And so I collected those for a while until I got bored with it. And as an adult, I've collected coffee mugs. But after a while, you just like there's no room to put the mugs, and my wife looks at me and just, really another mug. So I really don't do that a whole lot anymore. Right now, basically what I collect is movies, Oscar-winning and Oscar-nominated films that I'm collecting. Yeah.
You know how many you have in your collection?
No, I don't. I know just simply Best Picture winners. I have 34, and that's just Best Picture winners. But I don't know as far as all the other nominees. That's a good question. I have to count them up.
I was kind of wondering if your eraser collection from high school, did you show those erasers when you did your ventriloquism act as well?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
That's good.
Let's change the subject to Dave, the other Dave. What are some, besides collecting Big Mac wrappers when you were a kid, do you have a collection or did have a collection when you were growing up?
What do you mean as a kid? I still collect those.
Oh, yeah, I've been in your car. I collected baseball cards and football cards, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know. And little trinkets here and there that I have no clue where they're at today, but as an adult, I have this love for Charlie Brown, and well, I can understand that because you were a lot like Charlie Brown when you were growing up.
That's right. I sure am, and so I have. I mean, my office looks like a flea market anymore.
I've gotten fleas when I was in there.
Oh man, there's hardly any books. I've put them wherever, and now there's just stuff on there. So I have that. I have my Disney memorabilia on there. All throughout my office, I have golf flags and golf balls from places that I've been at or played at, which are pretty cool. I have some Fran Tarkenton autograph memorabilia. And then I like collecting old books. I haven't been able to do that for a while because just with COVID and everything, it just seems like people aren't taking their old stuff to the thrift stores or anything like that. And so, but I like doing some of that.
Yeah, cool. Well, we had our research team look up some stuff for us. Our Two Daves podcast research team. We've got it. We pay them for something.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had them look up some weird collections and give us the top 6. Now these are weird collections. Weird, as Johnny Carson used to say. Weird.
Hi-oh.
Yeah. All right. So here's a few. Okay. 30,000. This is somebody. These are real things. Okay.
Oh,
Weird. But real collections. Somebody collected 30,000 bags of toenail clippings.
Oh, my.
That's right. Yeah. He said they use it for medical research. How do you use toenail clippings for medical research?
What would they do with it?
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't want any, I don't know. You go into the doctor and they say you've got some issues. You got some internal issues going on. And we'd like you to eat these bags of toenails if you could. And that would help for our research.
That would help. Well, here's another one. 6,000. This is a private collection of 6,290 airline sick bags. Yeah. And he wears a hat. It says barf bags wanted. I don't know. That's strange. Weird.
That is weird. I have a few.
Somebody
has actually collected, those small stickers on bananas, like, what are they from? Dole.
Yeah. The old
Chiquita. They collected 30,000 banana labels.
Why?
Well, that's a good question. Why? Because you need a life, maybe. I don't know. Or you don't have a life. That's weird.
I guess I don't understand 30,000 because I think there's only 2, aren't there? There's Dole and Chiquita.
I don't know. I mean, again, you can collect anything. Okay, you can collect anything, but why would you want to collect that? Here's another one. They've actually collected to-go coffee cup lids, and their collection is up to 551.
You mean those plastic throwaway lids?
Yes.
All right. We've gone beyond collecting into hoarding here.
Oh, man, that is the truth. That is the truth. And then this last one of mine, it'd be kind of cool. He's collected 600 different pizza boxes from 42 different countries. People have mailed it to him. That's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. I like that one. It's weird, but it's kind of cool.
It is, but where do you put them at?
Oh, no. Yeah. And that's what I was saying. It's why I've never really been a serious collector, because, they're kind of nice to have. But after a while, I know some people who collect stuff. And after a while, it just becomes so much clutter,
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But here, this one takes the cake. All right.
Did you save the best for last?
Yeah. This is a real collection. This guy collected 22 plus grams of belly button fuzz.
Say that again. Your connection was a little bad there. Say it again. 22
plus grams of belly button fuzz. Belly button fuzz. Can you believe that? All from one guy. One guy cleaned out his belly button, I guess, every day and saved it. Each decade has its own bottle of belly button fuzz. Yeah. He says it's brought him some fame, but no fortune yet.
Yeah. Lots of fame, huh? I mean, what kind of fame are you going to get there? 22 plus grams. That's like somebody saying I got 22 plus grams of cocaine or something like that. I mean, what in the world?
Does lines of belly button fuzz. I don't know.
Well, Dave, these kind of weird collections made me think of, and we decided to come up with a top 6 list of collections that probably would not be wise starting.
Yeah,
they can probably do it, but it probably wouldn't be wise. So, Dave, why don't you start with yours?
Okay, well, this would not be wise. Collecting Rogaine for ear and nose hair for men over 50.
Oh, man.
We don't need that. We don't need that. If you're over 50, you don't need Rogaine for ear and nose hair.
Well, I mean, I've got more hair growing out of my ears and nose than I ever have. It's disgusting.
You remember taking that class, like when you were probably in 6th grade, where you're trying to learn about your body or whatever.
Yeah.
And I swear they never told us about things growing out of your nose and ears.
No, it's disgusting. Okay, well, so that would not be wise, right?
That would not be wise. You don't need that.
Okay. How about collecting opinions for Facebook users?
Well, there's plenty of opinions of Facebook users, that's for sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be wise though, right, to start this collection. No.
How about collecting common sense for politicians?
Small collection there, right?
Yeah. You wouldn't need much shelf space for that.
Here's one: collecting coal for climate changers.
That wouldn't be. They don't like coal.
No, not at all.
They try climate changers try very hard at Christmas to please Santa.
Yeah,
they don't want coal in their stocking.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, then how about
this is good.
How about collecting plungers for laxative companies?
I'm laughing beyond just that collection.
Oh yeah, I know why you're laughing. I do.
Yeah. It's kind of an inside joke of something that happened a long time ago, but yeah, it would not be wise, right, to probably collect plungers for laxative.
Probably not.
Well, and the last one would be collecting memorable quotes from Nancy Pelosi speeches.
We better stay away from there.
Yeah, we're not political, right? We're not political.
Not political. No way.
Right.
Apolitical. All right, listen, Dave and I are going to go in a roundabout way. We're going to give you a collection of favorite things of ours to certain topics. We were just talking about this the other day, and we have some similarities, but we also have some differences in some of the things that we like. And we thought this would be fun and maybe another way for our audience to get to know the two Daves better. Because often, really, a lot of our fan mail that we get, people write in and asking, hey, let us know more about the two Daves.
Yes.
So, this is also a good thing to play with your spouse, because I sat down with my wife and said, hey, can you name favorites of mine in this category? And then I had to do the same for her. And it's kind of discouraging, actually, a little bit.
Well, did you figure out that maybe you need to get to know each other a little bit more now, or what?
Well, she left me. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
Our first topic is my favorite topic, and that is favorite movies, because I love movies and I know Dave does too.
Yeah, but I love them in a different way than you do. You like them because you are a good critique of movies. I just, I watch movies because they make me laugh or whatever. I feel very inadequate giving you this list. So
no. Let me tell you, a favorite movie is a favorite movie. Whatever brings you joy, whatever you enjoy, that makes it good. Who cares what the critics say? And I like, let me tell you, I have some movies that probably critics don't like, and they use the term guilty pleasure. I hate that term, because who cares? Who cares if nobody else likes it? I mean, I didn't put this on my list, but I like that old movie from 1987, Some Kind of Wonderful. You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
And people, when they find that out about me, they go, really? But it just brings me a lot of joy. I just love that movie. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, okay. One of the tests that I had was, how many times have I watched this movie? If I can watch a movie 10 times, 20 times and still enjoy it, it's a great movie for me.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes, I agree. Matter of fact, there's a lot of movies that I like, and I could never watch it more than once. Yeah. But I agree. It's the movies. As a matter of fact, the movies on my list are movies that I can watch over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, like Passion of the Christ, I could not watch that more than maybe twice.
Great movie.
Great. Yeah.
Very hard to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and plus, I can't come up with number one here, Dave. I just can't do it. So I'm just going to give you my collective list here. So first one would be a combination of Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 1 and 2, sure, good movies, good movies.
It-
Although
it
the
was
whole
good.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, I kind of agree with John Mulaney. How's that happen? The city's a grid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we just have our imagination go along with them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to tell you real quickly. Last year, before COVID hit, it was in Christmas time. Was it last year? 2 years ago, at the Des Moines Civic Center, they had the Des Moines Symphony do the Home Alone 1 soundtrack to the movie.
Oh, wow.
And that was so cool to be part of. I just love that.
Now, do you know that Home Alone is actually an Oscar-nominated movie?
Yes.
Because of the music, the score, and the songs. Somewhere in my memory. Yep.
Great songs. Great songs. Who's the composer of those? It's John Williams, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So my second one would be Nacho Libre.
Okay, you remember when I was talking about how we're not going to shame you because every movie
Yeah.
is okay? I'm done. Nacho Libre. Okay.
That is the most quoted movie in my family. I mean, I just love it. I can sing the songs and say all the things. And some of my friends that do it, except you. I thought you were a friend, but you don't.
Well,
know
I've never seen it. I've never seen the movie.
Well, it'll probably become one of your top movies if you do.
I'll have to watch it.
Anyway, the third one is I am a James Bond fan, and Goldfinger is my Goldfinger, and You Only Live Twice, right? Is the one?
Yeah, You Only Live Twice.
And that's Goldfinger's one of my favorites. And then
That's interesting because I've known you for 30 years and I never knew you were a James Bond fan.
Oh yeah, I got my kids into watching it. At least my boys. It's great. I love the old school. I love how they go to different countries, and it's just the old school there. A White Christmas is one of my favorites. I've seen that a ton of times. Love the music, love the dancing, just love the feel to it. It's so good.
Mhm.
You've seen that, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay. Next one would be Mary Poppins.
Chim Chimney,
Yeah.
Chim.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you can call me whatever names you want to call me, but I love Mary Poppins. I just think it's a 2-hour plus movie, and I love just the songs, the music, and the storyline's great.
Now,
And
did you see Mary Poppins Returns?
I did, yes, and
You
I've seen
that?
it several times too.
Yeah, you like that.
I
Okay.
like that, but it's hard to replace the first one, and I know they weren't trying to do that, but it's just, I don't know. And then That Thing You Do.
Oh man, that's one of my favorites. I love
Is
that
it?
thing. Yeah, oh yeah.
I watched it the other day, Dave. It was snowing and we weren't going anywhere. And I watched it and I'm like, oh man, I've seen this a ton of times, but I just love it,
The music,
Doing That Thing You Do.
styles. Yeah, the music, the styles, everything about that movie I love. Yep.
And then I have two more. The Music Man, which is an old school man,
Oh, yes.
that is such a great. And if you're from Iowa, you got to love The Music Man.
I've directed that play before, and
Oh, you have?
Yes, and I've been in a couple of iterations of it too as a cast member. So yeah, I love The Music Man.
It's great. And then the last one is a John Wayne classic, and Maureen O'Hare is Quiet Man.
Oh, The Quiet Man, very good. Yeah.
Love that movie.
Now, Dave, you said that your movies are not, necessarily critical. I'm telling you, all but one of those movies that you mentioned is an Oscar nominee or a winner.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Home Alone, like I said, is for song and score. Goldfinger won an Oscar for best sound effects. White Christmas was a best song nominee for Count Your Blessings Instead of Sheep. You know that song?
Oh, yeah.
Mary Poppins won Best Actress for Julie Andrews. Also Best Song for Chim Chim Cheree, Best Score, Best Film Editing, Best Visual Effects, and it was nominated for a host of others, including Best Picture. That Thing You Do was nominated for Best Song. That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
The Music Man won Best Score, and a host of other nominations, including Best Picture. And The Quiet Man won Best Director and Best Cinematography, along with a lot of other nominations, including Best Picture. So see, you're doing okay.
Wow, I didn't know I was that good of a critic then. That's great.
Yeah, you are. All right, you ready for mine?
Yeah, I'm ready for this. I want to hear this.
I couldn't narrow this down to 8. I got 11. Okay.
Okay.
And it's hard. And I'm also, these are not in order of preference. I couldn't do it. So I've alphabetized mine.
Okay. All right.
All right. So number 1, Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, good.
I love that movie. That is my favorite of the Disney canon. I love Beauty and the Beast. And I've also directed that play and been in it and everything. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Are you talking about the cartoon or the live version?
I prefer the cartoon.
Have you seen the live version?
I have.
Did you like it?
I've seen the live version. Yeah, I liked it, but the animated was much better, I think.
Yeah, right. I would agree. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it's hard to beat Jerry Orbach.
Oh yeah.
In the air. I mean, that's great. That's
so good, isn't
Be
it?
Our Guest is a showstopper. It's just,
love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, number 2, and again, this is alphabetical. Chariots of Fire. I love that movie, Chariots of Fire. The music, the storyline. I mean, what a great story. And it's a true story. I love it. Number 3, Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh yeah. Wow, these are good.
It's probably my favorite musical, if not the Music Man. I love Fiddler on the Roof. Number 4, and this is what people are probably going to be surprised, and you're going to be surprised too. I Can Only Imagine.
That is good, man. That is good.
It is. It used to be that Christian movies were really bad.
Bad, yes.
Bad, terrible. I mean, you could laugh through them and do a Mystery Science Theater 3000, kind of commentary to them. I Can Only Imagine is so good. It really is. So I like that one. Number 5.
Stop right there for a second, would you, Dave? I'm glad you said that because the newer Christian movies I think they're really good.
Yeah.
And I just got to say, I wanted to put down Facing the Giants, not because of the quality of it, but I just thought the storyline to it was so good. And I've seen it a ton of times. Okay, go ahead.
All right. And you know what? We could probably divide this up into our favorite, our different genres, our favorite Christian movies, our favorite Disney movies. But anyway.
Right.
Number 5, It's a Wonderful Life. That's probably my favorite. That's definitely my favorite Christmas movie. I love that one.
Mm.
And then number 6, this is a little bit newer movie, Knives Out. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that. Is that with the guy that plays James Bond? Is that with Daniel Craig?
Yes, Daniel Craig and Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and it is incredible. It's very inventive, original. I recommend it. You need to watch that. Knives Out.
Is it a mystery?
Yes, it is. It's a comedy mystery. Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. Also, number 7, Miracle. And that's going to be up there in my top 3. I love that movie.
Yeah, that is good.
Miracle on Ice, great story.
Did you watch that, Dave, when you were young? Were you able to see that actually?
No, it was actually, I believe it was during the day, and I was in school. But I heard about it, certainly heard about it. And it was a huge thing, just because the Soviet threat was just a huge thing in 1980. And when America finally beat them, it was we just felt good about it in my 7th grade class. So,
Yeah.
Number 8, The Music Man. That's kind of a duplicate of yours, but I love that. Number 9, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Have you seen that?
Yes, that is good. I would agree.
You was a toad. I love that.
Yes.
Number 10, Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, wow.
Do you know when I first saw that movie?
When?
I was recovering from surgery, and you came up to see me, and you brought a copy of that movie, and we watched it together.
Really?
Back in 2009, yes.
I remember we had Subway, I think, didn't we?
I can't remember that, but leave it to you. You'd remember the food. But,
I remember the food.
Yeah, but no, I love that movie. Great movie.
That guy, I think he died.
What guy? Oh, the host of the Millionaire Show. Yes, he did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I dreamed the other night that we were interviewing Dev Patel on 2 Days podcast. But
Oh boy.
and then number 11, That Thing You Do. That's another duplicate. That's great one. But anyway, our second topic: favorite comedians. Go.
Oh man, I feel old when I do this one, Dave, because I'm not into the filth.
Yeah.
I'm not into the sexual innuendos. I'm not into any of that kind of stuff. It's all right if they talk about marriage and different things like that, but I'm just not into the cuss words and all. I don't think saying a cuss word makes it funny.
Right. I agree.
So this is going to be, you can call me lame on this. Okay.
Well, I do that anyway.
Okay. My favorite one would be Jim Gaffigan.
Yes. He's my number one favorite too. Love Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah. I really like Jim. I saw him in concert. Have you seen him?
No.
It was at the Iowa State Fair. I got to tell you this, Iowa State Fair. And I bought tickets and I was on the 10th row up front. And about maybe 15 minutes into it, it started to downpour.
Oh no.
I went from 10 rows up front to I had to go all the way back on the stadium to get underneath the seating there. I had to get way back there. It was crazy. It was lousy. I couldn't even see him. I could hear him, but it was so depressing.
Yeah, that is discouraging.
My second one is more than his stand-up, not so much stand-up, is in his movies, his comedy in his movies, and that's Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, Steve Martin, very funny guy. Yep,
I like him, and
he's kind of a wild and crazy guy.
Yeah, he is. That's good. The third one is Brian Regan.
Oh yeah, Brian Regan. Mm-hmm.
He's funny. I think he's for the everyday Joe, or Jill, whatever.
Very funny.
And then my fourth one would be Don Knotts.
Oh, Don Knotts, the late great Don Knotts.
Yes. Yep. I mean, he's funny. His daughter is doing comedy now, but he's was just so good. He did the Andy Griffith Show for 5 years, and then he went on to do his own movies and the Apple Dumpling Gang and all those kind of things. I really liked him.
What was that movie that he did where it was like a set in a haunted house?
Oh yeah, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
Yes. All right. Now, are you ready for this? When my daughter Amy, like 4 years old probably, I saw her. She was sitting in our house and she was shaking like this, just shaking. And I thought, oh dear Jesus, something is wrong with Amy. I said, Amy, are you okay? She says, I'm Mr. Chicken. She saw that movie. She loved it. She was acting like Mr. Chicken.
That's funny. That was a great movie. You know that?
Yes, that was great.
That was kind of based off of the haunted movie, the haunted house episode off of Andy Griffith.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. My fifth one is he's gone. He's been gone for a long time, but John Candy.
John gone way too soon. Way too soon.
And he's just had a lot of great movies. My favorite is maybe The Great Outdoors, where he's eating the steak.
Yeah.
and then now this one.
Wait a minute. I've got to tell you, I think my favorite Don Candy moment is an improvised moment in one of your favorite movies, Home Alone, when he is talking to Catherine O'Hara about leaving his son behind in the funeral home.
Yeah,
improvised, was not in the script. I'm telling you what, I still crack up laughing every time I hear him talk about that.
John Hughes said, I don't remember, Chris Colombo maybe was the guy that, was that his name, Colombo?
Columbus.
Yeah. Columbus, yeah, Colombo. I'm thinking of the movie. And he said that only John Hughes could bring in John Candy, and he was in for one day and did all that stuff. That was great. Yes. And the last one is Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah, yep.
And great. Night after night, how he did that. And I watch a lot of those, his monologues. A lot of his monologues were not the best, but how he handled a bad joke was funny.
Yeah, the king of late night.
What about you, Dave?
All right. Well, my number one matches your number one, Jim Gaffigan. My number two is Brian Regan. And then for my number three, I have John Mulaney. Now, John Mulaney can get a little raw, and he gets a potty mouth. But he's like one of the greatest storytellers that I've ever heard. And so I think he's funny for that reason. Number four, Don Friesen. Have you ever heard Don Friesen?
Not necessarily per se, but
yes. Oh my goodness, that's funny stuff.
Yeah,
number five,
funny.
Yeah, number five, Mark Lowry.
Oh yeah, Mark's good.
Yeah, kind of a Christian comedian, but
a
still
storyteller.
Yes, yep, definitely, and with great timing.
Yes.
And then number six, I have Ray Romano from the show Everybody Loves Raymond. Yep, great stand-up act and great actor in comedy. Yep.
I loved him in Everybody Loves Raymond. That's really good.
All right, our third topic, favorite music / musicians.
This was tough.
It was tough.
So I don't know if I even did it right, but I'm going to tell you. So my first one, and I don't think it's in order at all, but I love good worship music.
Sure, yeah.
So I love, listen to it while I pray, and I just love listening to it. So I like that. Then, our last episode, we had good old Matt Fouch on with the Legacy 5. So Southern Gospel, mine would be Southern Gospel Quartet. However, I do like some of the duets and trios now.
Yeah. Okay.
The third one would be at the top of my list would be classic jazz music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it not only instrumental, but with all the people that sang. Ella Fitzgerald, she was incredible. Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, all these. I mean, there's not singers like that today, except maybe what's his name?
Michael Bublé.
Yeah, Michael Bublé. Yeah.
Harry Connick Jr.
Harry Connick Jr. is good too. I really do like him. And then I like old country music.
The old twang stuff.
Yeah, I like, Willie Nelson and Kenny Rogers, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, now, did you see the PBS series on country music?
I did not.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you what, you need to get a hold of that series.
Okay.
Very, very interesting. Very good stuff.
Send me a reminder about that, would you please? And then the last one is 80s music, because that's my generation. I just love the 80s music. Tears for Fears and Phil Collins and Sting and on and on. I mean, it's just great.
Yeah, great. Well, for my number one, I put male harmony. Now that could be a number of different genres. It also doesn't have to be a quartet. The Gaither Vocal Band is my favorite group ever. I love the Gaither Vocal Band. But I also like, now For Him isn't together anymore, but I used to love For Him. They were Southern Gospel. They were a contemporary group, but great 4-part harmony. Straight No Chaser is not a quartet, but some great male harmony. I love that. And Celtic Thunder. I love that group. So anyway, my number two would be contemporary Christian music. Matthew West being my favorite. Then you'd have to have Casting Crowns, Toby Mac, several good guys in there. Number three, 80s. I put 80s soft rock, not heavy metal. I don't like that junk. Oh, sorry, I don't like that stuff. But like Journey, The Police, Rod Stewart. I used to love that kind of stuff, and still do actually. Number four would be classic Christian rock. So we're talking Petra, Carmen. That may not be classified as rock, but some of that classic Christian stuff I love.
Whiteheart.
Yes, yeah. Oh man, now you're really going back.
DeGarmo and Key.
Yep.
Oh, Mylon Lefevre and Broken Heart.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yep.
Huh? Those are good.
I saw Stryper in concert.
Oh no, I've never seen them.
That's okay. You didn't miss much. But anyway.
Michael Sweet.
What?
Michael Sweet.
Yes. He had a voice. I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
And my number five would be worship music. Yes.
Yeah. That's good. Did you ever see Straight No Chaser in concert?
No.
I've seen them a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Like you go places, and I don't. but anyway, I'm a little agoraphobic. So.
Well, I wanted to say Paul McCartney on my list. I took my boys to a concert there in Kansas City with him. Almost 4 hours of Paul McCartney singing. And I'm thinking, how many hits does this guy have? And it's incredible how many he does.
Oh, I'll bet. Wow. And he still it has that stamina, huh?
Yeah, he does. It's good. It's good.
I took the girl that I was dating when I was in high school. She was a big Michael Jackson fan. And so his first concert, he was on that Victory Tour, I think it was, with Pepsi Cola, where he and Jackson 5 appeared in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. And I took her to his first concert. And that, I'm telling you what, I'm not a big Michael Jackson fan, but I'm telling you what, that was an entertainer.
What? You saw Michael Jackson?
Did indeed, yeah.
I'm a little envious there. That's one person I wish I could have seen.
And I'll tell you what, he could dance. Oh my goodness.
Can we just stop for 1 second? Who are the people that are gone now? They're dead, that you wish you could have seen in person? Do you have 2 or 3?
I can't. You've really thrown me for a curve. I'd have to really think about that one.
Well, let me just say it. For me, it's Elvis Presley.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Frank Sinatra. And Ella Fitzgerald, I would have loved to have seen. You can't think of anyone, huh?
I'd have to stop and think. I'd have to, and I don't want to do that because then we'd have to sponsor this, dead air.
Well, did you take your medicine for the day or not?
I did not, and that's part of the problem.
Well, that's the reason. Okay, we better get on to the next one then.
Yes, our fourth topic here is favorite preachers or authors. This was kind of tough too.
Yeah, I have a lot here. I'm just going to give you 5, okay? Chuck Swindoll is one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite preachers and authors because of the way he explains the Word of God. And I love his writing. It's just really, really good. Secondly, my favorite evangelist would be Steve Hill.
Oh, man, I should have put him down. Yeah. Yeah, great.
And then my favorite preacher is Charles Crabtree.
Oh, man.
A lot of people aren't going to know him, right? Because he's with the denomination we were at. But you can sit and hear him for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And just go, preach some more.
Yeah.
And then I love Tony Evans.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And his daughter.
His daughter's good. Yeah. And his son is good too. Yeah. And then Rich Wilkerson, not the son, but the father. I love Rich Wilkerson. I was called into the ministry and when he was preaching in Des Moines, and I just, we listened to him all the time. So that's mine.
I put Rich Wilkerson probably as number 1 because he was probably the most influential in my early days of ministry. I just really kind of attached myself to his ministry. Number 2, I put Max Lucado. Never heard him preach. I don't know that he is a preacher, but his writing, his books, and I know that they've been criticized sometimes for being too simplistic. That's probably why I like them, is because they're so profound. They're simply profound, just good stuff, and ministered to me in times when I really needed them. So
that's good. Yeah.
Number 3, Frank Peretti. I love Frank Peretti's fiction novels. He's just an incredible writer. He is, he can put Stephen King to shame. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Number 4, Christine Caine. Great preacher and great author as well. And then number 5, I put Sam Johnson. Again, maybe a lot of people don't know who he is. I don't think he's an author, but he's a great pulpiteer. And he's the one that I remember preached when I was in Bible college. I can still remember his sermon, and that was a long time ago. And then I've got to add a number 6, and that's John Bevere. So.
Oh, John Bevere's good. His wife's good too, Lisa.
Yes, she is.
Was Sam from Indiana?
You know what? I don't think so. I think he's from Wisconsin.
Okay, that area then. Okay, that's kind of yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Our fifth topic, and I'm not doing well on this one at all, but our fifth topic is favorite iconic restaurants.
Yeah, that was my idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I didn't do well because I don't get out.
Oh well, so here's this: if you live in Marshalltown, Iowa, many celebrities have they've entered this restaurant, and I'm talking about Made Right in Marshalltown, Iowa.
I used to live in Marshalltown, and I love the Made Right.
Loose meat sandwiches. I know you think it's weird, but the way they make it is so good. And their malts. I mean, a malt, chocolate malt, and a Made Right sandwich is great.
Yeah. And you go in, you don't say, hey, I'd like a Made Right, because that's all they have. You go in and you order the number, right? I'll have 2 and a malt, please. Yeah.
Right. Good. Yeah. No ketchup. If you put ketchup on it, you're not from Marshalltown. So
when I lived there, and that's been 20 some years ago, they were insulted if you asked for ketchup.
Well, now, of course, it hasn't been open since COVID. I mean, you can get it on the outside, but you can walk up to their window. But now they have, ketchup on the table if you want.
No kidding. Oh, man, What is this world come to?
No, I know. My second one is Lambert's, and you and I both went there.
The home of the throwed rolls.
Man, those are good, aren't? That's an iconic place.
It is very iconic. Yep. And everything is all you can eat.
Yes.
You can dare. Yep.
Throwing rolls. I mean, I wonder what it's going to be like after COVID now, Who knows?
Yeah, really.
Who knows?
I don't know. My daughter was there at Thanksgiving time, and they still throw the rolls.
Yeah. Well, they probably wear gloves and stuff. The third one is the original Pizzeria Uno in Chicago. I ate there. Oh, was that good? Deep dish. They call it the heavy, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the last one is, I struggled with this last one until we were talking about Orlando, and it's a place called the Edison. And I don't know how long it's been around, but you're going in a place that is just, the atmosphere is what makes it so good. And it's at Disney Springs, but the food is very good. I mean, it's a fun place to eat. You can eat inside or out by the lake. And I think it's a very cool place.
Well, I also put Lambert's. Lambert's is my number 1, and number 2 is Made Right. And as far as other iconic, I've eaten at the Pizzeria Uno. I didn't happen to think of that until you said it, but I've eaten there. It wasn't that memorable for me. It was good. It was, but I obviously didn't remember it all these years later. I was talking to my daughter and her fiance last night about this. And I said, I'm a cheapo. I don't like to pay very much for a meal. So I'm happy going to McDonald's for a McRib sandwich. And my future son-in-law said, I don't know anything more iconic than McDonald's.
That's true.
Everybody knows what those golden arches are. So I'm going to put McDonald's in there,
That's all right, man. That's all right. The youngins, they take it for granted, but man, it was
yeah,
it's very Americano, isn't it?
It is. Okay, our sixth topic is favorite sitcoms. Sitcom is, of course, situation comedy. And go, Dave.
Okay, my first one, and this is number 1. It's MASH.
Oh, I love MASH.
Yeah. I just got done watching it again.
Oh my goodness, those one-liners. Oh man, great show. It
is. And with all the casts that come in, you think, wow, a new guy coming in, but they're just as good as the ones before.
Absolutely. I mean, who would have thought that anybody could have replaced McLean Stevenson?
Right.
But Harry Morgan did a great job as Colonel Potter.
Oh, he's good, wasn't he? Did you say Harry or Harry?
Harry.
Yeah.
What did I say? Okay.
I thought you said Larry. Maybe not. Never mind.
Maybe I meant Harry Potter.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my number 1.
Yeah, I like Everybody Loves Raymond. It's so good. Andy Griffith Show.
Oh yes, the old Andy Griffith Show.
And it kind of turned weird after Don Knotts left, but I still watch those. So I thought
it was definitely better when Don Knotts was on it. He made that show. That's for sure.
Yeah. Fourth one, which some people might not even know, but it's the Ozzie and Harriet show.
I know the Ozzie and Harriet show. Yeah.
That was on at one time. I think that it started as a radio show, but I think it started on TV in like 1954, 55, 56, something like that.
Somewhere in there, yeah. And it was a real family, a real honest to goodness family that played a family on TV.
Yeah. And then I really like Last Man Standing.
I really enjoy that too. I think the last couple of seasons have made it not let me put it on my list because I just have not been happy the last two seasons. But I tell you what, the seasons leading up to those were, very funny.
Well, the reason why I put that on there is because I'm thinking of sitcoms today, and I don't watch very many. I don't watch detective ones. I don't watch any of that. So that's kind of, for me. And then the last one is the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, yeah, great.
That you know what? That sitcom had some great writing in it.
Oh, it did. Absolutely. Carl Reiner. Yeah.
So anyway, that's mine. There's some other ones maybe, but those would be my top 6.
That got me thinking. I didn't put this on my list, but when you were talking about Dick Van Dyke, I should have put the Mary Tyler Moore Show on my list.
Yeah, that's good too. It really is.
That really was. But I said Everybody Loves Raymond was my number one. Actually, number one is The Office. I love The Office.
I didn't even put The Office on there. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not one of those that jumped on the bandwagon. I'm one of those that started in the very first season when nobody was watching it. I found it, went, oh, let me see what this is about. And I'm just automatically went, this is one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. And I watched it throughout. So, yeah.
I started with the first season too, Dave. We talked about it a lot.
Oh, yeah. We did. Well, and you want to talk about quotable shows.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Very, very quotable.
Princess Unicorn, my horn can pierce the sky.
We did that one episode just talking about quotes from The Office. But
that's funny.
All right. My number 2 is Everybody Loves Raymond. That was your number 2. Number 3, The Big Bang Theory. I really like that show. That's a good one. Number 4,
that was good.
Yeah. Number 4, I have The Middle.
Oh, The Middle's good.
Really was. I think I just like Patricia Heaton, from Everybody Loves Raymond, and then she did The Middle. Just really good stuff, and
the kids were great in that, though, weren't they?
Really were. A lot of relatable stuff in there. Yeah.
Oh, I love. What was the young kid? What was his name on the show?
Brick.
Oh man, he was funny.
He's very funny. Yeah.
I know he was. You have to watch it. Yeah, that's so good.
Great. Number 5, I put MASH. At number 6, I put Seinfeld. I love the old Seinfeld. Yeah.
Well, I missed a lot, I guess. But you know what? We're talking about things that are not even on anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And old.
Yeah.
I mean, Everybody Loves Raymond was on the late 90s, right?
Yes. Yeah, late 90s, early part of the 21st century. So, all mine, none of mine are on the air anymore. And, none of yours are either. So,
No.
All right. Well, how about, now this is going to be a little bit more personal. All right. You ready for this one? Our favorite preaching failures, mistakes that we've made while preaching that have gone down in the annals of Two Dave's history.
Okay. So when I sent you my list, it was not complete, Dave. So I had more time to think. All right. So the first one was I came back to my home church to pastor it and where I'm at now, and I'm preaching, and all of a sudden there's a lady I call her my sister. She just we've known each other for a long time, and she's trying to get my attention. And I'm like, what are you trying to say? Anyway, I'm preaching, and all along, and she said, somehow she got information back to me. My zipper was down. Oh, that was so embarrassing. Good thing the barn door wasn't open all the way, so that's good. So anyway.
You couldn't feel it wrapped?
No, but boy, did I feel stupid after that. And then we have, because we have some older people in our church, we have those, what do you call them? Those chair lifts. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't think of the word chairlift. So I was just trying to remind people that at the back of the sanctuary, we have a chairlift, and there you can go down there. We got 2 restrooms at the bottom there. I could not think of the word chairlift. And so I'm like, yeah, you can use I said electric chair. You can use the electric chair to go down. And I just kept on going, and people started losing it, and I'm like, what? So there's that one. I sometimes have an issue when I say the word 6. I sometimes say sex instead of 6. So that's my bad. And then I remember one Sunday, and if you preach, you have dreams about preaching in your underwear and not being able to find your Bible and all that kind of stuff, right?
What did you do?
So I'm out there, and I'm like, we're gonna, let's turn the Bible. And I started doing everything, and I'm like, it just hit me as I'm reading scripture. This is the same scripture from last week. And I'm like, okay, I just lost it. And then I keep on going, and I'm manuscript form. So I type all my stuff out, and I'm going through it. And then about 5 minutes into it, I just stop, and I go, people, I need a redo here. I'm re-preaching last week's sermon. I need to get my new sermon notes. So I had our musicians come back up and do the thing. And then I tried finding my sermon notes. I could not find my sermon notes. And I finally, I think my wife found it for me. And I'm telling you what, that was a disaster, So there was that. And then one other time I was preaching, and 3 people were snoring at the same time.
I think I was one of them, wasn't I?
Yeah, nah, maybe. And then the last one, in honor of my grandmother, who's no longer here. She was a preaching grandma. She one time got her words all messed up, and she preached on the diary farts of hell. So those are my kind of things. And the other 2, I just can't share them on our podcast. Too embarrassing.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear those later.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
what about you?
I had to stop and think, because I really haven't made many mistakes.
Oh, now I've heard it all now.
Actually, my youngest daughter used to have a hashtag thing going, a hashtag trend. Every week when I preach, she'd say hashtag only at, and then the name of our church, because it seemed like all the time I was doing something that was embarrassing her or whatever. But before I get it, since you shared one that somebody else did, I'm going to share one somebody else did. We had a youth pastor one time, and he was preaching out of I don't know if this was his text, but Romans 3:23, how we all fall short. And so he was talking about our shortcomings, except he could not say shortcomings. He kept calling falling shorts. And he kept preaching on our falling shorts. And I was sitting there going, am I the only one hearing this? And I started looking around, and people are just looking at him like I'm going, do you hear him saying falling shorts? I looked behind me, and there was another woman who caught my eye, and she was dying laughing. And so he went into the prayer then, Lord, forgive us for our falling shorts and everything. I'm like, oh, stop. I told him afterwards, I said, you know what you were saying? And he had no clue, but that's funny. All right.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Well, let's see. One time I was preaching, and I noticed that there was gum on it wasn't really a podium. I was using a music stand to preach with. And I thought that I had put my gum there earlier or something. And so I picked it up and put it in my mouth and was chewing it. I like to chew gum when I preach because it kind of gets some saliva going. After the service, our worship leader came up and she says, I put my gum here on the music stand. Do you happen to know what happened to it? Oh,
no.
It was awful. It was terrible. That was many years ago. And she still reminds me of that today. Another time I was preaching a children's sermon actually one time, and I was talking about the kid that was driving nails into a hitching post, and I kept calling it a pitching host, and I could not say hitching post. It was pitching host every time, and those kids were like, "You were so dumb." And then, one time I was doing a Christmas illustration, and I was talking about how the best things that we get are from God. And so in one box, I had wrapped up tube socks. And in another box, I'd wrapped up a beautiful mug, an antique mug. And so I was doing the thing, like a lot of people do, where they shake the gift. And I shook the one up and I broke the mug. Yeah, that was not
Was
good.
it yours?
Yeah, it was my wife's.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So anyway, so she left me. No, okay.
She's left and come back
One time I literally set fire to the carpet in the church, and it wasn't just carpet, it was the brand new carpet that we just had laid in our church. I was doing an illustration with fire.
Wait a second. Was somebody in the back with a hot air gun shooting like toilet paper out at you and it hit the candle?
No, but when our last guest was talking about that, I thought of this incident because it was awful. It was terrible. It started stinking. And when I realized what was going on, it was too late. And oh man, it was so embarrassing. It was so terrible that the pastor burned the carpet when it was brand new. One time I was preaching and I asked a question, and I think it was probably a question based on my last week's message. You're never supposed to do that. But I did, and somebody answered correctly. And I said, "Oh, you need a gift." And it was Father's Day, and we'd handed out rolls of duct tape to the dads, but we still had some left over. So I said, "Here, you get some duct tape." And I picked it up and I threw it at the person who won. And my throw was off. It's amazing. And it hit a lady in the head in the front row. And when I said it hit her in the head, you could hear it go, boom. And she goes, "Oh," and you could hear this collective. She never sat in the front row again. I'll say that.
Oh, you felt terrible, didn't you?
I did. I felt awful. But the worst thing that happened to me, the worst thing, I told you earlier that Slumdog Millionaire was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
You know that there's a scene in Slumdog Millionaire where they are trying to get out of him how he knew the answers to the questions.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
They were torturing him, and they literally, they hooked up like electrodes to his nipples.
Yep. All
right. So I was preaching, and I asked kind of a question where I was getting some feedback from the congregation. And I said, what is it? Why don't people come to the altar? And one lady says, "We're afraid." And I said, "That's a good answer, fear." I said, "Why is it people are afraid of the altar? It isn't like we're going to hook electrodes up to your nipples." And I also was I was thinking of scene in Slumdog Millionaire, but as I was saying it, and as it was coming out of my mouth, I went, "Nope, this is not the right thing to say," but I couldn't stop it. It was just out there. And I could see the expressions of people's faces like, "What did he just say?" Well, I didn't stop to acknowledge it. I just went on and didn't say a word, about it, just went on. And afterwards, I thought I'd kind of test the waters a little bit. So I put out on my Facebook, I said, "Have you ever said anything, and as you were saying it, you wish you could take it back?" And there was a guy in the church who answered and said, "I wish I had a nipple for every time that happened to me."
Oh.
Another guy said, "Yeah, that was a big boo-boo." Oh my goodness.
You know what? That makes good thing your shorts didn't fall, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's crazy. That's funny. But you're right. As the words come out of your mouth, you're like, there's no way I'm catching those and putting them back in because they're done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know what? I figured out why God allows us to have those, so we can have these top 5 lists of terrible things that happen to us.
There you go. We got to do it. It does provide some entertainment. And as badly as we feel, people remember it and they love it. They love to see their pastor be human. And so it's not such a bad thing, but it's awful. It's terrible when you're going through it. It's terrible and it's embarrassing and you wish that you could take it back. But when all is said and done, it's okay.
It is. Well, that was a fun collection of favorites, I think.
Yeah, it was.
And, I hope our audience of 4 or 5 really enjoyed that tonight.
Yeah. Listen, and we have something else too, but I think we should save it for another night, don't you?
I think so too. Why don't you say what we're going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little teaser for this.
Okay.
We're both dads, right?
Yeah, we are.
And we both like to tell jokes.
Yep.
And have you ever had one of your kids look at you when you've told a joke like, I wish you'd fall off a cliff?
Yeah. That just happened the other day.
I'm sure it did. I guarantee it did. Well, that is why there's a type of joke that's called dad jokes.
Yeah.
Because evidently we're not alone. A lot of dads tell jokes that embarrass their kids because they're stupid. And so we've collected, and I don't know the jokes that Dave's collected, and he doesn't know the jokes that I've collected. But what we're going to do, we're not going to do it tonight, but maybe our next episode, we're going to try to see if we can get the other person to laugh. And we're going to kind of do a dad joke challenge and see who can get the most points.
And I think the loser should maybe take the electrodes. No, never mind.
Sounds like a good idea.
Do you have one dad joke? I mean, I want to hear one of your dad jokes before we go. Do you have one?
Yeah, I have one. This was an oldie, but a goodie. Okay. What do you call? How do you make a Kleenex dance? You put a little boogie in it.
I'm not gonna laugh next time. I promise you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you get a free one.
Let me give you mine, okay? Because this is, I'm sure you've heard it. But what do you call a fake noodle?
What do you call a fake
noodle?
Hang on. What do you call a fake noodle?
An impasta.
Okay. Is that the joke that you told that made your kids embarrassed?
Oh, no, it is on this list though. So,
it is on the list. Okay, yes. All right.
We're going to be bad at this.
What?
We're going to be bad at this because we're going to laugh at probably everyone.
Oh, well, we're going to try. I'm going to try very hard to not lose. So.
All right. Well, we'll do that. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. That'll be next time. That gives our audience something to look forward to. Right?
Or something to dread.
Yes.
Either way.
Now, I want our audience to know we're working on things like we need to get some headphones and we need to work on some other stuff. We're trying, so just be patient with us because you know what? Together, we're 108 years old, so we need some help. So we're getting there, but it's been a joy and a pleasure bringing to you another Two Daves podcast. And as always, if you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope you did, and even if you didn't, we'd ask you to subscribe, share this podcast with your friends. One day we might have, Dave, this might sound funny to you, but one day we might have a store, a Two Dave store, where you can purchase a hat or a shirt or something like that. But until next time, remember this. Dave, you know this to be true. Two Daves are always better than one. See you next time, Dave.
Bye.